Alright, I'll wait for people to roll in. For some reason I like never announce streams ahead of time. Probably should. Just you and me, Vladimir. Poor mode, as I can see today. Yeah, this shirt is also AI generated. I got it from the company I worked at. It's like everything I stand against, but it was a free shirt, so you know, is what it is. Your electricity homework? I'm not good at electricity. I'm just good at math and I'm not that good, but I'm really good. Morning, sire. I have to get tea and water before this properly starts though, because I'm still somewhat sick, I think. I just, I cut Spotify, I cut music completely because, it's kind of addictive, actually, which is really weird. I'll make a video about it fully, but, like, I feel like the compulsive desire to listen to music, so I'm, like, forcing myself to not. Is this coding? Yeah, it will be some coding. Pretty basic coding though, nothing crazy. Following the synapses assignment. Listen to classical music, it helps, at least it helped me, or jazz. I mean, dude, so let me tell you, like, I was no stranger to, hold on, my tea is like really loud. I've listened to Bach, I've listened to all the different classical music, I've listened to all different kinds of jazz, I've listened to weird, like all different kinds of study music for a long time. I've tried many different types, and, like, I don't know, I just, like, even, like, the most optimal, like, you're listening to Bach at, like, one volume to block out other noise, like, it takes a little bit of bandwidth, I think. I prefer no music now. Well, I don't prefer it. It actually kind of sucks, but it's like I feel more productive. But yeah, there's some jazz albums, some like some classical albums. Like I'm really a big Tchaikovsky fan, Russian guy. Maybe he was Russian. I don't know. He was from that part of the world, but I've listened to some of his pieces like hundreds of times. But I'm just like, eventually, not listening to music has turned out to be better. Yeah. Minimal techno, always the same flow, BPM. I mean, I've listened to... Yeah, I actually can't say that I've listened to minimal techno like that. The closest is there's an album I really like called The Tourist, which is like I don't know, it's like maybe jazz fused with house, I guess. I've listened to that a few hundred times. That's pretty good. All right, my tea is done. I study pure math. I actually really hate applied math. Like, DiffyQ is the worst class I've ever taken. I just didn't like it. Didn't like calculus a lot either. I like abstract algebra. It's fun. But okay. Alright, we almost have closed the loop for our robot. Motor neurons currently send desired angles to motors. Motors convert that into torque and apply it to joints. Joints apply torque to the link pairs and connect together. Those torques plus the other forces acting on each link change the link's position and orientations at the next simulation time step. Those changes are registered by the robot sensors, and these changes are fed into the sensor neurons attached to those sensors. All that's left to do is flow values from the sensor neurons to the motor neurons, and your robot will be capable of a closed control loop. This will be done by adding synapses to see this. Visually open this and this in different browser tabs. Okay. Alright, that seems roughly the same. As always, create a new Git branch. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Alright, generating. Open generate.py and remind yourself the various parts comprising a robot. Horrible language, horrible syntax. I think also, I have my analysis exam today at 2:50. That I feel fine about, and I don't want to like just fry my brain doing hard practice problems. I think the one thing I might do at some point during the day is like just look at this, like just I don't know, go through definitions a couple more times. I'm doing my robotics homework. So evolutionary robotics, though, there's no physical components, and just evolving a robot. What about you don't work? What about you chill instead? Vladimir, I'm not rich like you. I have to get a job to support my family one day. Okay, you will now generate a synapse. Where are we putting that? In the generate robot function? Or the generate brain function? At the end of generate brain. Generate brain, yeah. Yeah, how did you get rich? I do want to be rich one day, but that's not permanent riches. That's like a one-time. Are you the Greek moderator? Some random IDK 7091. I don't remember giving you mod, but that's probably fine. What's the worst you can do? Ban everyone. So you're not a self-made man. The Greek mod, cool. Love to see it. Alright, as the name implies, this connects neurons 1 and 3 with a synaptic weight of 1. Unlike everything else you have generated so far, synapses do not have IDs. That's because they're the last types of components we'll be generating. Nothing else refers to them. And I guess like the connections to the different neurons are also technically like you could make a unique ID. Well, yeah, if anyone gets rowdy, you can ban them. I don't mind having lots of mods. No, we're not connecting neuron 0 to 3 because sensor neuron 0 is the torso. The torso never comes into contact with the ground, so the touch sensor will never fire, and sensor neuron 0 will never change value. Remind yourself of step 11 in the sensors module. Okay. We're going to generate and check if brain synapse started. I'm not doing that. It was. Simulating. Quickly remind yourself of your class hierarchy by opening simulate and then simulation. Note that the robot senses, thinks, and acts each time step. Consult the constructor of robot and note that it creates a neural network. Consult the constructor in pyrosim neural network. Note that there's an empty synapse dictionary in there. I remember all this. After digestion has occurred, after that digestion has occurred, like what is he talking to, an LLM here? Print the synapse dictionary and include an exit right after it. Print the synapse dictionary. Synapse in neural network. Consult the constructor in neural network and then print synapses. Synapses. Oh, probably after digestion has occurred. Oh, been a minute. Then UV run. What is this? Generate a pi and UV run simulate. No simulate.py. Did I misspell it? Yeah, I did. Alright, cool. Looks good. Love getting a rowdy YouTube chat. I feel bad for the math people that show up when I'm just programming. Like, what do you guys even do with yourselves when you're not doing math? Was your exam today? Yes, my exam is today. I'm just like, I don't want to study. I reviewed some definitions this morning, but I don't want to like study too hard and fry my brain, so I'm just doing easy programming. Yeah, that's a good. Hey, I didn't write it, man. I didn't write it. It's not my fault. I don't really care about fixing it either. Well, it would be a good exercise, but I don't know. It's just some random guy's code, not mine. But I've been thinking about that too. The different paths to like long-term success in life, like getting a decent paying STEM job as an engineer or something, and then just like putting things into an ETF. That's like almost certainly the way to go for long-term stuff, but it would be really cool and fun to do something like more explosive in my life, you know, like raise a seed round or something. And that's like fucking such a cliche now. I'm not exactly sure that would make me happy, but like just, I don't know, after working 5 or 10 years under someone, like getting really into some other field, like I don't know, taking one of your hobbies and just trying to start a company around it. I love the risks, but I'm not making OnlyFans. Raise it from Vladimir. I agree that people are way too obsessed with being rich. Like, it wouldn't really be about it. like raising a seed round and starting a company, for me wouldn't be about having money. It would be like about being able to do something like with more leverage than I otherwise would at a company. But like if I was doing things that I thought were really important at someone else's company, I wouldn't care. It doesn't have to be mine. All right, and yeah. This ensures that the neural network now has a synapse. Did we see that? TMUX scroll mode. Motor neuron values. Oh, we should see it at the very start. Yeah. Boom. Okay. The dictionary contains one key to the left of the colon. The value to the right of colon is an instance of the class we have not seen yet, synapse. The key is a tuple with 2 element entries. These are the names of the 2 neurons. I knew that would be the key. Delete the print and exit statements. Okay. Oh, I should have put an exit statement. Oops. Locate, update. Okay. Update. In Pyrosim neural network. Oh. Pyrosim neural network. There we go. Note this function updates sensor neurons and hidden motor neurons differently. Values for sensor neurons come from sensors. Values from hidden and motor neurons come from other neurons. Right. Since updating a hidden and motor neuron requires values from other neurons and waits from synapses to connect to the neuron, we need to provide the neuron with information. Okay, so loop over the keys basically, and then add the values. So add self.neurons and self.synapses as arguments to update hidden or motor neuron. Yeah. Self.synapses or self. And then we have to go to where this is defined and current. What is current? Current is a neuron. Neuron.py. Since updating a hidden and motor requires values from other neurons, the weights from synapses, okay, blah, blah, blah. Locate this function, add the arguments there. Update hidden or motor neuron. Okay, so we need neurons, synapses. I think this should have been over 4 last time. Just for fan service. I am going to do the number theory probably after class or tomorrow. Opening a gym someday, I mean, people literally pay you money to work out there. The thing is, the idea doesn't need to be original. Yeah, literally. And the originality doesn't have to be like front loaded either. Like people say all the time, like, oh, I need like a new app that like rivals Facebook in terms of magnitude. But no, like I think starting a new gym, you have so many opportunities for like micro creativity, and like there's so many things you could optimize about where machines are placed and like what kinds of, I don't know, there's just like lots of little sub problems that you could make like a really beautiful little environment for. It doesn't have to be like some SaaS mega corporation. Yeah. I just had this robotics class. I haven't been into it for like a long time. Like I'm not super into robotics, although this professor is really, he's doing like research in frog skin cell micro robotics, which is really cool. Add these arguments here, but just call them neurons and synapses, blah, blah. Yeah, at the moment this function just sets the hidden neuron value to 0, blah, blah. Run simulate, you should see 2 dictionaries printed. So, okay, we print both of them. I'm not doing that. We're about to set the value of the current neuron to its weighted sum. We will find each synapse arriving at the neuron. Find the presynaptic weight. So remove the print and exit statements and add a for loop just after the neuron's value is set to 0. After that, iterate through each key in synapses. I don't set the neuron's value to 0, so that might be wrong. But who cares? So we're looping through synapses. For syn in synapses. And then the synapse is a key. Synapses.keys. Can we like type this? Dictionary? Or is it dict? Yeah. Dot keys, and then, well, let's call this N1, N2, and then self, we're a neuron, so we have a value, self.set value. Oh, it's a little more complicated than that, okay. Back outside the for loop, include an if statement that checks to see if the current synapse arrives at the neuron being updated. To do so, you'll need a second element of the tuple. The name of the synapse is postsynaptic neuron. So this is like pre-post. Is that how the connection works? And then we check like if back inside. It prints the keys of the single synapse during the updating of the first of the motor neurons. Note that the key is a tuple. If post equals self, then we found this, and then we add the pre to it. Oh, self.get name. Get underscore name, uppercase Pascal case. That's cursed. To do so, we need to find the second element, the name of the postsynaptic neuron, the name of the currently updating neuron, which is self.getName, and a test of whether they are equal. Yep. Delete and add print statements so that you can see the following. Inside update hidden, the name of the currently updating neuron. Nah. So the if statement, print the names of the pre and postsynaptic. They're just going to be numbers. And exit. When you're on the code now, you should see 2 neuron names printed corresponding to 2. Okay, add a new method to neuron called allow presynaptic neuron to influence me. Oh my god, that's so dumb. I hate this class. They're really gonna make me name it that? Inside the statement, call this method, yep. What are we gonna pass to it? Oh, do I have to do self? Yeah. The weight of the current synapse and the value of its presynaptic neuron. The next 2 steps will help you get these 2 values. You have the key that references the synapses in the synapses dictionary. The weight of the current synapse and the value of its presynaptic neuron. So self.get. This is just so retarded. Like, why don't we just do this inline? Why do we need to break this into another function and pass like class member variables we already have access to all over the place? The weight of... you'll need to pass the method 2 values, the weight of the current synapse and the value of its presynaptic neuron. So pre... expected 0 positional arguments, okay. Value pre. And And then inside here, we have the key that references the synapses dictionary. Synapses key is the instance of synapse. Key. Synapse is an index of key.getWeight will return the weight of the synapse. Oh, wait. The weight of the current synapse. So it's not the weight of the presynaptic neuron. So, I mean, this is our key pre-post. So, synapses. Actually, I think it would be better to do, like, key, and then, like, pre-post equals key dot 1. How do you index? Can you index a tuple like this? Key, and we'll call this value. This is just like so goofy. Object-oriented programming, man. It looks like it's MOOC. What's M-O-O? What's MOOC? For dabbled in competitive programming a little bit. I haven't switched to Linux yet because I like Mac's hardware. Probably build a desktop Neovite on Windows Classic. Probably build like a desktop PC at some point with Linux on it, just because there's so much demand for the content. All right. So you have a key that references the synapses, and the synapses dictionary is the instance of synapse. Synapses at index of key.getWeight. This is like just such a fucking disaster. Like the amount of errors you could potentially be making here, and then like with all the clouding and the prints, it's like object-oriented programming in Python where you don't have types and you don't have type inference is horrible. And like I don't want to go and define Pydantic type for all of this stuff. It's just such a... Could probably get an LLM to put Pydantic on top of this project, but it would, I don't know, more trouble than it's worth. Massively open online course. It is kind of like a, it is, but also, like my professor runs it as a MOOC, but it's like, there's a local version of it as well. Yeah, Ramadan has been good for me. I practice it. No, it's the AI copyright thing. Yeah. NetBSD or OpenBSD is far better. I love how Vladimir like started off as an OnlyFans asking character, but he's like just as much of a, he's just as capable of being a massive CS nerd as everyone else. I don't know. There's a couple things like features that I really get a lot of use out of and a lot of mileage out of on Mac. And if like, so being able to message people from both of my phone and my Mac is nice. AirDrop is really nice. Universal Clipboard is really nice. The way, yeah, I can just pull stuff off my phone, which is really useful because I need to like upload all this media all the time. And those are just really great features. The ability to find your phone or your headphones from your Mac is nice. And like, I don't know, if you look at, so I'm all for Linux. I love good software. I do like Linux in an SSH environment, but there are certain features like that where if you zoom out and look at like the life perspective, and it's like, dude, who cares what like fucking computer you're using? Like it it's a magical device already. That there are like things in life that matter more than your operating system. Just my 2 cents on that. I mean, yeah, the privacy argument, like if I go mega paranoid like Luke Smith in a couple of years, like I'm planning to, then I'll switch like in a heartbeat. But for usability, like macOS gets ragged on too much, I think. First element of the keys tuple is the presynaptic neuron's name. Named at get value gets the current value. So you have to run get value. Value. You have to do pre.get. I'm totally making a mistake here because there's no type inference. In the definition of allow presynaptic, add these two arguments, which are being passed in. They should both be floating point values. Print them inside the function and exit immediately. Okay, print allowing presynaptic test. Value pre. Should call these better things probably. So this is the pre-haptic. I wish you could do kebab case in this language like you can in Typest. No naming consistency whatsoever. Right. I don't see. Expected a world element. Line 49. Self-dot attribute string has no get value. See, this is the problem with Python. What was the error? Line 49. String get value. Pre.get value. Okay. Oh, I see the issue. That's pretty dumb. So this is just synapses. No, it's neurons at index. This is why Rust is beating out Python, or any statically typed language beats Python. Okay, there we go. So, oh, did I not include the exit statement? So that doesn't run. Am I not even calling it? If post equals self.get name. Oh, post.get name. Or, fuck. This shit is so cancerous. There we go, 1 and 1. Fucking hell, dude. I hate Python. They ruled that nothing that is generated from AI can be copyrighted because technically no one owns it. That's an interesting ruling. But kind of bad for artists. Only thing that won't work is iMessage. Everything else you mentioned is possible. Also, I think, honestly, not to be like, oh, it doesn't have this and it'll never be useful because of that. Like, I actually kind of prefer some random challenges. Like, it would be fun to try to get clipboard sync working and whatnot. Class name is Robotics. Well, it's evolutionary robotics. That's what the subject is. It's a really cool field, actually. It's like using evolutionary algorithms to evolve robots physically. Okay, I guess you can't look at images anymore. Just nothing works. It's called evolutionary robotics, and it's like when they build robots, they like simulate them first, and it's like the simulation half of that. And so you have like a neural network attached to like a physical robot, and then both components of that kind of evolve over time with an evolutionary algorithm. Delete the print and exit and replace them with the result of multiplying the presynaptic neuron's value by its outgoing synapse's weight. Okay. Synaptic value. Self dot add to value. That's such a dumb name. Synapse value times presynaptic neuron value. Okay, cool. Add these two arguments, which are going to be passed in. Oh, I did that. Back in self.update hidden, print the value of the neurons before the loop begins and print the value of it again after. Place an exit, okay, just to verify. So we're printing self.get value and then exiting. Okay, that was unclear. It was 0 to 1, I guess. From 0 to 1, yep. Multiple synapses, okay. Is the class also theoretical or just practical? It's theoretical too. Yeah. It's honestly nice because it goes over a lot of like the neural network architecture that's used in robots and a lot of the theory of that. It is fairly practical. I don't think like it's the best example of software engineering in the world though. I've seen some pretty heinous code in this bad boy, but all right. Add a second synapse to generate at pi. This connects neuron 2 to motor neuron 3. Okay. Motor neuron 2 to target neuron 3. Motor neuron 3 should now have 2 incoming synapses. Run generate and brain and ensure the second synapse has been created. Run simulate. You should see the first motor neuron should change in value. So I should not have deleted those print statements. 0, 1. It should be at 2. So what to pi? You should see the first motor neuron change in value from 0 to 2 since 1 times 1 plus 1 times 1 equals 2. We did not see that. Did I forget to write? That's always a classic Viv mistake. Yep. Always remember to hit right. The math involved, it's like, I don't know, graph theory, I guess. It's pretty basic. There's not a ton of math in neural networks. Well, that's a bad statement. There's a lot of math in neural networks, but for the simple ones we're doing, not a ton. Just like directed graph. It's much more computational than it is mathematical. Like, if you know what graphs are and like what the sigmoid is. University of Vermont. Okay. With enough incoming synapses, a neuron may thus take on a very positive or very negative number. Let us thus threshold the value of each neuron using an activation function to the range. Okay. Where's the sigmoid squishification function? You can do this by calling self.threshold right after the loop completes. That's nice. This function is already provided for you. Have a look at how it works. Okay, I'm curious. Tan hyperbolic. Cool. It's funny that they even do this, like self.thread. I mean, like, so I understand, if anyone cares about this, that like object oriented, like this makes it clearer what's happening, but like if you're literally just gonna curry to another function, what's the point? Just call that in line. Just do the tan and like put a comment if it's unclear. I don't know. It seems kind of dopey. But I don't know. Okay. Run simulate. You should see the value of neurons change from remove the print statements. Okay. Where's the value of 094 going? Consult act and robot.py. Act. Okay. Note that the value of each motor neuron is extracted and sent to its corresponding motor as a desired angle in radians. That means that during the first time step, the two sensor neurons register values of 1. The motor neuron command is motorized its joint to apply the torque to the two links it connects, trying to get them to a relative angle of around 64 radians. However, if you run simulate.py, you'll probably see something different. You'll probably see something like this. $788 views. Huh. Okay. Let's try it. No, I quit almost immediately. Do I have an exit statement somewhere? Again, I forgot to write. I maybe should have auto write on. Yeah, I'm not seeing that behavior. Oh, my simulation is very slow. Sleep time. Where is sleep time? C.sleep time? Oh, constants. How about that? Well, wait, wouldn't that make it slower? We want like 1/1000.
Oh, you got it. Yes, man, of course.
The real world forced the linting to reduce function calling cost. Forced the inlining, yeah. Yeah, good call. Okay. She value of motor neurons change from 096. Where's the value 0964? Consult ACT. And send to its corresponding motor as a desired degree. However, if you run, you'll probably see something different. You'll probably see something like this. It's okay to see one of the legs extended to you and then come to a stop. Different hardware performance may cause a bit or more or less link. Okay. How oscillatory behavior may arise. Torque applied during the first step may cause one or more of the links to leave the ground, causing these touch sensors to change to -1. This will in turn will change the value of the motor neuron, thus changing the torque applied to the joint. Closing the control loop. Note in the above video the robot walks and toward the viewer. Open generate.py and try changing the weights of the two synapses. Run generate.py and okay. Let's go like 2. Hidden neuron values, hidden sensor values. I kind of want to get rid of all these print statements. They're annoying me. Print desired angle. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Self.nn.print. I don't really want to do that. Pyrosim simulation. See if that's a bit cleaner. Okay, but what's still something going on? It's not in any of these. Yeah, I don't want that. I think other than that, we're good. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's that last print statement? Print key. Yeah, I don't care about that. There we go. Please get to the analysis ASAP. I guess I turned all my fans into math people. That's unfortunate. Talking into a nuclear reactor? Yeah, it's a nuclear reactor, yeah. Well, yeah, I think, honestly, because this assignment is basically done, I just have to submit it and debug a couple things. And it's not due for 2 more weeks, so, like, my class just moves so damn slowly. This shit is so easy. So, yeah, I'm down to get onto analysis. Let's just commit. Moved the why not use x86? Because my machine runs on ARM. Other than that, though, I don't have a good reason. Okay. So, analysis, you say. analysis. Let's run some analysis. Not cheat sheet. Exam review. Okay, I don't want to completely fry my brain, but let's see. I have a good few hours until analysis kicks in. And let's see. Characterization and continuity. Let me open up that practice exam actually, just to, well, I'm pretty sure I know what's on it at this point, but just to be sure. So, content and activities. Convergence, infimum, supremum, openness, compactness, continuity. Evolutionary robotics, it's a really cool class. I like it, but it's a little bit annoying. Low-level language should I choose for CS? I think if you're serious about learning a low-level language, you should use Ruby because it's more performant. That language seriously packs a punch. In terms of its performance footprint, I mean, like. Yeah. All right. The function is continuous in its domain. This problem I've solved like a few times already. It's like the algebra for me is always gonna be mad annoying until I practice it some more. Same with convergence, honestly. Honestly, like, no, evolutionary robotics isn't. I like it okay, but I like math more. Alright. Proving that a finite set is compact.
Everything's changed baby now, isn't it? Bill's have a picture?
Just want to think about that for a second. Finite implying compact. It seems like something is finite, then it's clearly bounded. but we need to show that it's closed as well. Showing that it's closed. I mean, a finite, if a set is finite, any limit oh my god, for an arbitrary, I never spell that word right, in S will converge to n, or like x in S. S therefore contains all its limit points. Okay, yeah, I feel good about that. I think definition, also I want to write out the definition real quick of not convergence, but what a functional is to grasp ML theory. I've got some basic level math knowledge. What do you recommend as prerequisite? I don't know, man, honestly. Learn about what a functional is. What is a functional? A functional. Linear algebra is synonymous with linear form, functional analysis, higher order function. I don't know which one you're talking about. Function that takes in other functions as a function. That I understand. Scalar valued linear map. Are they kind of the same thing? Synonymous with a linear form, which is a linear mapping from a vector space V into its field of scalars. The more you know. Good luck with that. I hope you get far in life. Show that the following function is continuous in its domain. Yeah, we're back to math, Mithril. So, the definition of continuity is, there's epsilon delta, and then there's two things that I always get it mixed up. It's like x minus c less than epsilon implies f of x minus f of c less than delta. And the quantifier is like for all delta exists epsilon. Yeah, this proof is a little rockier than I would like it to be for the exam, for sure. For all epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0. Fuck. That's an interesting thing. That you say that you probably don't want to use that definition. It's a calculus definition because that is the definition the book uses, but also there are other definitions that might be easier and might avoid some algebra. I don't want to invoke the triangle inequality 4 times. It's not that bad, but I'm lazy. Okay. For all epsilon balls around f of c, there exists a delta ball around c with the property that x in the delta ball implies f of x in the epsilon ball. Now that's an interesting way to look at it. I do like looking at the other definitions. It's kind of cool. Formal definition of the limit. People always come in here and say they have PTSD. For all x and n going to c, it follows that, oh, that's really interesting. So for all like limit points, for all limits going to limit points, it follows that f of, I like that. I like definition 3. For all xn. Definition 3 is really interesting. It follows that what is definition 3 like? How would you use that though? To like say that you want to prove that root x is continuous using method 3. Algebraic continuity theorem. Is that ever going to be useful? All polynomials are continuous. let's see. They had a proof. Statement 1 is just a definition. Classic. And statement 2 is the standard rewording of 1, using topological neighborhoods in place of the absolute value notation. Statement 3 is equivalent to 1 via an argument nearly identical to that of theorem 4.2.3 with some slight modifications for when xn equals c. Finally, the statement of 4 seems kind of weird. Like, the statement of 4 is c to be equivalent to 1 by using the definition and observing the case that x equals c is excluded in the definition of functional limits, leading to the requirements that f of c subset epsilon neighborhood of f of c, which is trivially true. This is somewhat deceiving. Statements 1 and 2 and 4 are closely related and essentially remind us that the functional limits have an epsilon delta formulation as well as a topological description. Statement 3, however, is quantitatively different from the others. As a general rule, the sequential characterization of continuity is typically the most useful in demonstrating that a function is not continuous. Really? At some point. Definition 3 is very powerful for metric spaces, but you mostly have to use it to prove a function is not continuous because it's enough to find a single counterexample. That's good to know. Right, because it's a for-all quantifier. And you'd have to prove it. I mean, is it possible to use it? Like, I guess it's obviously possible, but is it practical to use it to prove continuity forwards? Not really. God damn it, I still have to do epsilon delta definition. But I kind of want to try using this definition to prove continuity. Luckily, I think I'm staying in pretty tame spaces for this exam. Pretty sure we're going to be at R2, guaranteed. Yeah, I don't think that'll be a huge issue. So for all epsilon neighborhoods of f of c, there exists a delta of c with the property x and delta and x in a. The domain implies f of x is in the epsilon neighborhood. And if we were to remove the top bar, like that maybe? Reading 11-year-old book. Definition 2 is actually the best for you in these exercises, I think. All right, let's run it. I just want to do a quick one for root x, because I've done it with the other definition. I more or less get the idea. You have to kind of rely on the fact that x is bounded, but so the definition is if you have an epsilon neighborhood of f of c and a delta neighborhood, well, let's call that dn. So delta and a delta neighborhood of c. Why is this an error? No, not found. Oh, I didn't rename it. Okay. And a delta neighborhood of c, then x in the delta neighborhood of c implies f of x in the epsilon neighborhood of f of x of f of c. Is that correct? Let me check actually. This delta with the property for all x in n, the Hein definition of continuity could help you out. I appreciate the luck. Good luck to you too. Kane with a lot of vowels. The Hein definition of continuity. What is the Hein definition of continuity? For all, so there needs to be quantifiers. For all epsilon neighborhoods, there exists a delta neighborhood. So we've got a for all. Big fan. Quick question: are you balding? No, I'm not balding. Like, how many times do I have to say this? A lot of people think that I'm balding, and the reason is like, I have very scraggly hair, and I have like a large forehead, so I have like a far back hairline. So it makes the appearance that I'm balding, I guess. But no, there's no male balding in my family whatsoever. Like, I have the guys in my family are like 80 and have full heads of hair on both sides of the family. So it's not genetically possible. For like 3 generations too. Checkmate. It involves making the function as a sequence and then treating it as a limit that tends to the arguments. And then the function itself. It involves taking the function as a sequence and then treating it as a limit that tends to the arguments and then the function itself. That is interesting. And like, does that let you solve things in a different way? Like, what does the process look like for solving those problems? Is it like more like convergence? Norwood 0, rare case. What's Norwood 0? Man, if I am balding, I'm just gonna shave my head and become like a monk. I'll go to oh, the high definition is just 3. Oh, I see what you mean. So don't use it here. You could maybe show that 1 to the x2 is easily shown with Hein, since you can make a convergent sequence that shows where the function itself converges to diverges to. Maybe show an example. 1 over x squared, and you can easily show what it converges to. But we don't really have as easy convergence on square root x. I mean, I guess I guess it's not that hard to show. No, wait, square root x diverges, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But I guess that's fine. It diverges. We do in a way because it's an interval. Oh, you're right. We do in a way. All right. That is an interesting thing to look at. But I kind of want to try this epsilon ball definition. If its endpoint is 1, no, it doesn't. Converges to 1, I guess. Well, it just goes to 1. Let's see. How old are you, Suraj? Monotone continuity theorem. That's genius. Um, 21. Yeah, it took me like, I don't know. I've tried everything. I've tried many different things. There's no like right way to do it, honestly. I guess it's like you might initially have to force it a bit. It might not be that fun, but if you can get to a point where you're doing it for fun, then it becomes like free. You know, like the most disciplined people, the people that get the farthest in their field, aren't like, oh, I fucking hate doing this. I'm gonna force myself. I'm so disciplined though. I can get away with it every day. I'm just like making myself do it. The people that get the farthest, like, you can't tear them away from their screen. Like they just want to be doing work. They love it. And it's like if you can find that, and it's kind of like what Mithril said. The most efficient way of learning is whatever you are able to do to study and keep your motivation to study. It's like whatever won't make you hate it. If you can get to a point where you love it, then it's really easy. I'm not there yet, though. Okay, so basically, we have for all epsilon balls, exists a delta neighborhood. Yeah, asking for advice is a tough pill to swallow. Because, yeah, that's also. Sorry, I really got to get focused on this problem. Well, actually, I don't really. I don't want to burn my brain out before this exam. But I'd also wonder how old you are, Maglev, because there might come a point where you start to like programming again. If you do it enough, it might become fun again, but maybe you're like 30, I don't know. Maybe you've already hit that point. But allegedly that's something that happens a lot to people our age. We like kind of don't like what we do for a while. Like there's a few years where you're like, but then like over time, if you're disciplined and you keep doing it and doing it, it gets really fun again. Let's see. And someone else said, yeah, you need to learn a lot of different things in different ways. That's really true. We're in an era where it's not at all about the information anymore. It's like the productivity stuff is like the advice and stuff is just so ubiquitous. It's like all the answers to succeed are like out there. It's not about like figuring that out. It's about like realizing them. It's not about finding the right one. It's about like realizing what you already know. I don't know. Yeah, that's easy advice. If you've won multiple hackathons but you don't like it, you can always fall back on it. But like, I just don't get that though. I don't like programming. Like, how can you say that? That's like I don't like art. You know, like there's just so many different areas. There's so many different things you could possibly do with programming. There's so many areas to work in. You could just pivot to some other area unless you're just like so insanely cracked you've tried like almost every major area. But I see. I don't know. Yeah. um my approach to studying math is I hop on stream and I get grad students to complain it to me. uh, and Mithril, that's a great. I actually, everything you say is like an absolute gem. I have to save this in the cheat sheet. This just like gave me such visual imagery for some reason. It's like, yeah, it is like that. It's a good piece of advice. Stream reminded me to delete my comment. What comment? Did you say something really mean or something? All general theorems and then leave a select cases or example to self-study. And I don't like what. So what are you trying to study, Siraj? Like, why do you think you're a noob? Oh, I'm a very bad student. I'm also a very bad student. I'm not consistently a good student. These math classes are like the classes I'm doing the best in. Robotics also I'm doing okay, but I have like a couple of other classes I just barely can fucking pay attention to because I'm too ADHD. Like I sit there, cannot pay attention, cannot motivate myself to do assignments at all. Like I'm gonna scrape through passing that class, but I don't really care about my GPA because I don't think I'm going to grad school. But and there have been times when there are classes that I've also not like I got like a pretty bad grade in Calc 3, I think. I just like it was really hard for me to motivate studying it because I just didn't really like the applied part of it. And like so don't feel like you're behind or alone in anything like that because I don't know, there are a lot of very people that go far in life like didn't get good grades actually. It's getting good grades is like it tests your ability in some ways to like get good grades. I would say like less so for math classes than it's like it comes down to just like your abilities at math, your ability to study, but some classes are like can you check the boxes and like some people have a hard time with that and it's okay. Um, uh, yeah, the most optimal thing would be having lectures, doing all proofs, and then doing examples yourself for understanding how the proof works. I think that too. From yesterday's vid about comment sections, keeping it clean. Oh yeah. To be fair, a lot of people who I thought liked programming didn't really like programming. They just liked making stuff in programming. And now, how do you... Programming was how you did that. So many of them just vibe code now. Yeah. I would ask that question, is math all about remembering a bunch of techniques, to Mithril? He's the resident math expert here. Or Rodrigo seems to know what he's talking about too. Okay, so for all epsilon neighborhoods, there exists a delta neighborhood. X in a delta neighborhood implies that f of x. Okay, I mean, this is essentially the exact same thing, just rephrased in like a topological way. So, for all epsilon, there exists. So if we have let an arbitrary epsilon. Yo, dude, I'm not escaping the epsilon hell. This is right back into it. We need something that fulfills the implication x in the delta neighborhood of C implies f of x in the epsilon neighborhood of f of C. Literally, like, I still have to do this. Fuck! Let f of x and f of C. X in the delta neighborhood of C I like thinking about it this way, though. If x is in the delta neighborhood of C, then f of x is in the epsilon neighborhood of f of C. How would I prove f of x? So if f of x there exists a delta neighborhood in C, so we need a delta neighborhood where delta is sufficiently sized so that x in the delta neighborhood And the delta neighborhood is going to depend on epsilon. Appears f of x in epsilon neighborhood. So like the highest level strategy here is I love how intellectual the debates in my stream chat are. That's awesome. At the highest level that you're saying delta dependent on epsilon such that x in the delta neighborhood Yeah, I know, it's awesome, isn't it? X in the delta neighborhood will give you dependent on epsilon such that okay, yeah, honestly, like this is the same argument structure essentially, and like the reason I was excited about this is like you can bust out some topology maybe and avoid the analysis, but I'm actually really curious about Rodrigo's saying you should start with a contradiction that f of x is not continuous. The midterm's at 2 today, so pretty soon. Yeah, I do want to try that actually. Assume towards a contradiction that f of x is not continuous, which would mean that definition 3 would fall apart. So there would be, for not all, or I guess there exists a sequence where, is this an implies? It just converges to. There exists a sequence where this doesn't happen. Start with the definition of Cauchy's definition. Is this Cauchy's definition or this? Following up with Hein's definition. First and the third. If you start with the third, that won't help. 1 is Cauchy, 3 is Hein. I think if the teacher, professor should be there to guide you, but it is wrong to spoon feed math to people. It just doesn't work. At least if you want to get your students ready for research. True. I do engage in a fair bit of spoon feeding on this channel, for sure. But also, am I going to go into math research? No. So, yeah, I don't know. So you mean the negation of Cauchy, which is for all epsilon greater than 0. Oh my god, I'm just doing this in math. For all epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that x minus c less than delta, or less than epsilon, implies f of x minus f of c less than delta. Hold on, no, epsilon is here, delta is here, right? Sure is. So the negation would be there exists an epsilon greater than 0 such that for all delta, the negation of this implication, how do you negate an implication again? Oh my god, I should know that, but you negate both terms and then swap, so it would be like so f of x minus f of c greater than the epsilon implies x minus c is greater than or equal to a delta. Appreciate that, Knox Box. Who wanted highest points? So wait, I'm not seeing the vision here fully. Negating this, you'll get something messy, and then for all xn, it follows that f of xn approaches. What are you really trying to say? Fix epsilon and fix delta as 1 over n. But what are you going for? I'm not sure. And also, honestly, I mean, it's a very cool method, but I think spoon feeding definitely has its merits when you're trying to teach someone how to solve a specific problem from scratch. Absolutely, it does. I think like, well, there's trade offs to everything, but saying like this has no merits whatsoever is rarely the case. It's like there's usually something like good if something is like spoon feeding, you're making kind of an extreme trade off of like not of like hand holding someone like to a great extent. Um, but it's like very it happens in software. I don't know, like that's how my software mentorship experiences have been, where like I could do something on my own. It would take me like much longer. But if someone is just like holding your hand through it and it's like, okay, I would do this here and this here and this here, and yes, they're giving you all the answers, but like if you just spend enough time with them, like you'll start to assimilate some of that stuff. And like so I feel like hand holding like right at the beginning slash spoon feeding for learning things is is really good actually. And for math, like building your own intuition, like I would say if you spend the first one third of your time being handheld through proofs and then like you have to go and do them on your own, that's kind of ideal. Yeah, Mithril is exactly saying the same thing. And if you like let the training wheels go too late, you'll have a lot of difficulty as well. Um, so, gotta be careful with it. For sure. Um, there will then be a neighborhood of xn from which you can use Heinz definition. What's xn? Oh, for 1 over n. There'll be a neighborhood of 1 over n, and you can use Heinz definition. And try to derive a contradiction through Heinz definition. I'm not seeing it. If you have an epsilon ball around what? The range isn't an interval. The range isn't an interval? Like it's not open? Like you're saying, so there'll be some point in the domain where the limit point isn't contained. With xn and a. So, because like 1 over n goes to 0, but in our problem definition, 0 isn't included. Yeah, wait, is meant as delta. I want to just address this because it's very, I think it's right on the money. Ideally, you should get, how it should go is that you encounter a problem for the first time, you split up the problem into smaller subproblems. Someone has spoon-fed you through all those subproblems. By the end, you have an idea of how each of those subproblems, when you encounter those subproblems again, you should kind of have a mental map in your head of how to go about it. That's like, yes, that's absolutely. And I sometimes have people on voice chat. I should do that more. There's trade-offs with that too. Like I can interact with chat less, so I think it's like enjoyable for less people overall, but I'm not entirely sure. That's just what I'd imagine. But when you have a mentor or teacher that is walking you through problems or spoon feeding problems to you, it's not like here's how you do it. That's like not good mentoring. It's like here's each of the granular the steps in the smallest resolution. Here's why I think about this the way I do. And it's like it's really painfully detailed, and that's like just it's so awesome to have a mentor who can do that and be like, yeah, this is exactly why this is exactly why this. I think I need to get better at taking advantage of that in math and like asking questions in the areas I don't understand. It's easier for me in computer science, but in math, yeah, you got to be like you got to be painfully detail conscious. The reason for that you need, let's see. The reason for that is by applying Hein's definition, the neighborhood of xn with respect to x0 and delta would mean that the limit of xn tends to x0. Follow up from Cauchy's negation would be that the epsilon which we fixed greater than 0 would imply that xn not equal to x0. Think he would use x0 as c. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get the vision. Yeah. That is very clever. Yeah. I do like that a lot. Hi, Nicola. Not necessarily. Okay, I see what your method there was, and that's clever. I think what's an FPGA? Yeah, I honestly feel pretty good about this. I think I'm gonna pin this. Focus on something else for a sec, some low brain activity. So, where's the config file for coyek? Really? I'm going to send this to another space momentarily. New window, open a new window, reuse window, new focus, inverse search, forward, zoom, help. Options. Can I open that? Coyek docs. Where are the coyek docs? Configuration. There's a couple things I need to change in coyek, and I thought this would be a good wind down activity before I walk over to the exam. Oh, no way. Let's you open that. I love having like massive nerds in my comment section. You guys know what's up. Probably through the command palette. Reload config. Open config. How do you do it? Well, I think I already understood your proof. Also, like, whenever I close the command palette, I think it crashes. Use console. Name the file in the console. Oh. Default keys path, user config path. Prefs user. I don't think I have a config for it. No such file or directory. How do you like touch files and create the missing links? Just access. Do not create the file if it does not exist. Directory. There's got to be a way to do it. I mean, I can also just it's just coyek and then, well, I want to prefs.config inside of coyek, or prefs config. Prefs. Prefs user. I don't see how. Well, we just need to create the coyek directory. Oh. and then config celiac prefs user.config. Oops. What? cd prefs user dot config. No, not. Oh my god. There we go. Prefs.config has the default config. Default config path. I mean, I could open it like this. Okay. Oh, sweet. And then wait, does the user config override it? User prefs. Why is my syntax highlighting? Conf. There we go. Someone sent me the color scheme for like my Vim color scheme, but using, there we go, vague color scheme. Color. So if I paste this, vague color scheme, okay, and then I source config in Celiac. Oh, that's interesting. I was not expecting that. Now we have a dark mode that's in the vague color scheme. That looks like pretty bad. I'm not a fan. I like the default colors. Yeah, I'm deleting that. Do they have like a keys? Like, how do you set new keys in Celiac? Keys user.config, prefs user.config. Oh, these are empty. Right. Prefs user, keys user.config. Oh my god, paste. There we go. Okay. Toggle custom color, toggle dark mode are two different things. Oh, thank you. Do you guys have any keybinds you recommend or features of this thing that I should check out? So I guess I should try toggle custom color. Does someone have like a wicked config for this? Oh my god, why does it always quit when I exit the command palette? Is there a way to fix that? Being on the dev version or something? Oh! Never mind. This is very cool. This is how people get those screenshots for that one subreddit with porn in the title. Okay, this is nice, and I have Vim scrolling mode now. Do they have like... I have a config to look stuff up on Twitter. For Soyek. Can you remove the title bar up here too? Is that possible? And do they have like a... Let's see. Zoom in cursor, fit to page width. Fit page width smart. What is fit to page width? How is it different than fit to page width? Okay, I like that. In my config, that is typically S. Fit to page width S. Dark mode is nice. Minus. S. I guess I have to source config. Source config. Do I really have to do this manually every time? Reload config. There we go. There we go. Sweet. My Firefox is missing the reload button for some reason. 2-page mode is in dev branch. Dude. Wellington, you're a G for... You're a cool guy. And there's a reload config. Yeah. This is pretty awesome. I can't lie. Custom color. Toggle custom color. Okay, I probably want maybe C for that. Toggle custom color. And what about like R for reload config? Reload config R. Just for now. Fuck, why does that crash? I guess I get a free config refresh, but... Okay, so we got C for custom color, I for dark mode, S to zoom in, up and down with D and U. We'll control D and U, as it should be. It should not be D and U, that's bad. And then R for reload. Okay, so then let's do... Yeah, I don't like that. Zoom in and out, I like capital J and K. J, which is consistent with Vimium. Wait, how would you install? I'm gonna have to look at my package manager's documentation for installing like the latest bleeding edge version of this, though. By the way, R is bound to rotate by default, so maybe get rid of that. Oh, would it rotate? This seems like okay. Like it seems like it just overwrote it. I don't like ever rotate documents. But maybe I would one day. But I guess if I do, I can just rotate clockwise. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, this seems to work. J, K, capital J, capital K. Zoom in and out. What other features of this am I missing out on? Dev branch. How do I install that with installation dev? I love when they put homebrew cask right at the top. I don't know if they detect them on macOS or what, but I guess maybe I have to build it from source. Pre-built binaries. It would be nice if there's a flag in the package manager though. I don't want to have to deal with installing from source because it'll go to a weird place. What version is this on? Yeah, the dev branch has that feature. I mean, I don't hugely need that feature, but the crash fixes would be nice. What did they do? Pre-release. This repository has a lot of issues. They're using Mu PDF. Q, are there build errors at Qt5? SWIC is damaged. What a nice looking PDF reader. Ooh, you can export data to a JSON file. Like what kind of data would you want to export? I do kind of care about that. Oh, what's up, Big Pepe? I'm configuring the textbook reading experience, which is, it's pretty important. Prefs. Background color, text highlight color, visual mark color, ruler mode. Does anyone use ruler mode? Oh, toggle title bar. You can just toggle it. Toggle title bar. Oh, that's awesome. How do I make that permanent though? Because I never want to see that bad boy. Oh, I opened the same thing twice. I opened it 3 times. Background color, title bar. Can I just use legacy keybinds? Can I just throw the command in here? Toggle title bar. I'll try that. Hopefully it doesn't completely fry everything. It seems to have worked. I refreshed the config with no errors. Let me close this. Nope, didn't work. Let's see what they say. Prefs. Title bar. Oh, put it in your prefs with a hashtag. That's just a comment, dog. I don't think it's specifies background color. So can you run commands? All swig, execute some command. You can go to bookmark, toggle presentation, keys and prefs. Toggle custom color. Personally use open preview dock often. Big O is good enough for me though. Open preview dock. Open preview dock. That's good to know about it as a picker. Backspace to go back in history. Oh, wait, one thing I wanted is like, wait, with some, you can press SS to search the text in Google Scholar and SI to search in Library Genesis. That's awesome. Open previous doc off in Big O. Open previous document. Oh, I see why that would be useful. Yeah. What about... One thing I do often is like... So Control O I'm never going to use, I don't think. I'm always going to open with another thing. But how do I close this dialogue even? I don't know. Escape? Help. I'm quitting the app. Like, Vim has a jump list, you know what I mean? And that's a really nice feature that I guess they have go back as an equivalent. Go back. I don't know if that's a crash or what, but it keeps happening. Go back. Or like jump back. Wait, I want to see if this causes a crash. So if I delete with nothing in it, no. If I hit escape with nothing in it, what's causing it to crash? Is it hitting Q? No. Like, how do you jump backwards in history? Previous. Previous item. Previous state. I think I'm just hitting Command W when I'm closing this. I just have to unlearn that habit. So if you do previous state, you should jump. So if I go to the top and then run previous state, what if I do next state? Yep. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm looking for. So what I want is Control O and Control I. Prev state next state. So now I can go Control O, Control I, Control O, Control I. That's nice. I think portal is what you want. What are portals? That seems like a very useful, and portal to definition, what does that do? Like, how do you know what the definition is? I swear to God. That's so annoying. I have Control W as muscle memory in Vim, and it always closes the window. Can I unbind that? It's Control W to like toggle dark mode just so I don't accidentally do it. There we go. Okay. Go to P to create a portal, GP to go to the portal. Okay, P. Now we have a portal. GP to go to the portal. P. GP. Do you have to name the portal? Like A? Go portal. So then PB. P. Portals are a feature I want to know how to use. But also, I got distracted. Toggle window configuration. Like, how do I run that command to toggle status bar? I think you have to link it to something. Syntax of keys, preferences. Specifies the color of the app. Prefs.config, dark mode contrast, ruler mode 1. Should launch new instance. Should launch inverse search command, highlight color, render overview, font size, UI font. Startup commands, semicolon. There we go. Startup commands. Toggle title bar. Boom. Beautiful. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Do I keep a copy of my streams? No, they're all on YouTube. No backup copies of anything. If YouTube servers go down, I'm doomed. And the reason is because, so first of all, I didn't set up a good workflow to do that. And second of all, I don't have enough hard drive space and I don't really want to buy tons and tons of hard drives. But if you've got like a ton of hard drives or a server you want to back up my content on and then host it, like, I'm all ears. This PDF reader is so cool. I love this thing. I have to make like a follow-up video about how good the config is. I'm curious, P to create a portal, GP to go to portal. I don't really understand portals fully, to be honest. Oh. Toggle bar, title bar. That's annoying. Yeah, my title bar. You know what? That's going to be Control W. Because my window manager interacts with that. Could you also update your dot files? Sure. I've changed a lot of things. Fix up. Which HMS mean? Same font. Check out that git diff. Homework. Mole just has logs. Probably git ignore that. nvim, file type plugin, inner, outer, text object, delete. That's another thing I got working recently. Text objects, snippets, remove dead snippets, update plugins. I'm ignoring GSD, I don't like it. I'm ignoring all of OpenCode's. Script, layout picker. What the fuck? Oh, this was random half-baked idea. Syoyek. Oh, open PDF I kind of want to change to now. So let's go up a level. Open PDF should now use Syoyek instead of Zathura, which I wonder if will work. Let's try elementary number theory. Did it work? Unclear at this time, but I'll fix that later because you wanted the config. Not working. Syoyek init. Favorite comments. All right. Yeah, I updated them. Whoa, number 2. Whoa, that Git client is quite nice. Oh, it teaches you how to use tutorials in the portal. Just RTFM, yeah. So how do I get there? Capital O, tutorial. Okay. O to open a new document, or Shift O. Use the arrow keys for navigation, control page down, page up to go to the next page, space, and go to the next previous screen, zoom in, zoom out, full screen, F8 to toggle dark mode, GG. Can also press Shift G to go to the last page. Okay, this is all the basics. I didn't know there were multiple pages. Can I put it in my theme? Yeah, I can. This is so cool. And now I can do Control W. Look at that. Full screen PDF reading experience with the custom vague color scheme. Actually, this doesn't look like vague. I think I straight up deleted that shit. User prefs. Prefs user. No, I want that to stay. Gotta copy this from Discord again. I have a clipboard history picker, but I don't ever open that on stream because you never know. Well, I guess I can open it on my other monitor and we're fine. Okay. So there we go. Now let's go back to Syoyek and see if this works. I think it worked. Yeah, this is our custom theme. Vague. It's too similar to dark mode, honestly. I'm commenting it out. Well, I want to paste it. I just want it commented. Now let's go back to this. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Does my code work? Philip Jackson. Oh, what's up? You're the guy who sent the vague theme to me. It sure does, but it looks too similar. Like this is not anything against you. I think it looks too similar to dark mode, and I kind of like this solarized blue, which is the default they roll with, I guess. Like, I don't know. If I have dark mode already, it's basically just dark mode. Like, vague is a color scheme for a PDF is different, pretty different than color scheme for writing code, I feel like. Sioyek. Oh, it teaches you about portals, yeah. Okay. I'll get to reading that. Marks. Command palette. Open : for Sioyek commands. If the command is bound to a key, the key binding is shown to the left. Control F or / to search. Next to go to the next previous match. In order to quickly jump in search results, use N. Okay, it's pretty standard. Mark your current location. In order to go to a mark, press followed by the mark. Yeah, marks. Note that marks are persistent. They are saved even after Sioyek is closed. Lowercase marks are local to each file, but uppercase marks are global, just like Vim. You can right-click on any line to create a visual mark. Oh, wow. This highlight has multiple functions. Probably harder to see in this, but... Interesting. First, it can reduce disorientation when scrolling. It also acts as a mark, and you can jump to the location. That's really cool. By pressing and then right-clicking. Wait, no way. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. In the dev branch, dark mode looks a lot better. I use that. I'm waiting for that dev branch to be released because, yeah, I don't want to build it from scratch. I'm too lazy. Actually, that's a terrible look. It's probably not that hard to build from scratch. I'd just rather my package manager do it for me. B to bookmark the current location. GB to search all the bookmarks. Press B and the selected text will automatically be used as bookmark text. Oh my god. That's a brilliant feature. Holy shit. Why did I not know about that? Oh my god, that saved me so much time. Jeez. These guys are brilliant. Highlights, and press H followed by a lowercase letter to highlight the selected text. HL. Now we got L. GH to search for the highlights. Oh, why is this PDF reader so good? So if I do HL, and now GH, oh my god, that's brilliant feature. Smart jump. You can middle click on the name of figures, figure 1, to jump to the location of the figure is located. No way. You can also click on cited references, for example, 1, 2 to go to the reference. You can middle click on the name of the papers and search them in Google Scholar. When middle click, what do they mean by middle click? Like 3-finger click? On a trackpad, how do you middle click? It's different colors based on letters too. Why is this so good? Why is this software just so good in every way? Wow. Instead of middle clicking, you can right click on references to open a quick overview of their location instead of jumping to it. So if we go to, let's see, the other PDF, how do we do that? Like that. Understanding analysis, and we right click. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. How do you middle click? You just jump to it. That's so nice. And what if I like hold control and jump to it? Okay, that's right click. Okay, highlights. Smart jump. Portals. So figuring it out is a bit complicated there. Philip, you're such a Chad if you're like trying to figure out. Can't middle click on touchpad. Yeah, okay. You're such a Chad if you're trying to figure out the dev branch of a PDF reader. And like reverse engineering the configuration, like you're doing well in life, man. And your name is Philip, which is pretty cool. It's a cool name. Press P at the current location as the source of the portal. Now you navigate to the portal destination. Press P again and mark the location as the destination of the portal. Doesn't have to be the same document. You can also create a portal by pressing P and then clicking or middle clicking using smart jumps on a link. This automatically creates a link between the current location. In order to delete a portal, DP, this deletes the closest portal to the current location. Sometimes you need to slightly edit a portal, especially when creating a portal using links, because sometimes, for example, a link to a figure doesn't center the figure properly on the screen. In order to do this, press Shift P while the portal is active. This takes you to the portal's destination. You can now adjust the destination. Once you're done, press the back button to go back to where you were. Okay. In order to create a portal. Okay, so wait. So if I go to analysis and then I click on this, all right, I hit P and then click on this, it's created a portal. How do I actually use the portal though? You can also create a portal. Automatically displays the closest portal. F12. Okay, I don't like that binding at all, but is what it is. So if I hit F12, oh, you need a second location, but wait, I thought hitting P and then clicking on a link gave you a second location. Hitting P and then hitting P again. I think we need to toggle title bar so it's snapped into place. Hitting P and then hitting P again. Shift PP. So I just needed to slightly. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it's difficult. Middle click, out of the box at least, you need a second location. Portals, I'm not sure. Like, do you guys find yourself using portals a lot? See, configuration, there are 4. Oh, what? I just hit J. What did I hit? I hit something. U. Or no, L. What does L do? L. What does H do? Oh, H highlights. L. Gonna do some analysis today. I'm gonna do some number theory later. Syntax, I'm not using syntax. Suppose we want to use capital T. Extensions. Can extend Syoyek. We also have some extensions available here. For example, we have download from Google Scholar just by control on its name. Something very rude but true about a chatter, but I will refrain from doing so. Create a portal. Enchiladas? Who are you talking to? I would just use Zathra, bruh. DP. By P and then clicking or middle clicking using smart jumps on a link, this automatically creates a link between the current location and the destination of the link. So shouldn't we see P and then click, and then we've linked portal to definition, portal to overview. Two things should appear side by side when they're portaled, right? View portal, like what's the F12 preview portal to overview preview window, like I'm not seeing it, dog. The guy was talking about Zathra. Oh. Yeah, Zathra, rage bait. I do really like this. Why the portals aren't actually working though is a mystery to me. Usage. Maybe they have something on portals. Oh. Similarly, you can press portal to definition and control to create a portal or jump to the definition. Portals. Yeah, that's what it should look like. Create a portal, hit P. And hit P again. This completes the portal. Alternatively, you can create portals by hitting P and clicking on a link. To view portal destinations, you need to toggle the helper window. Toggle window configuration. Close the helper window. Edit portal. So you just need to hit F12. So if I have two, I thought I did that, but if I have two portals, so create one here, and then I click, and then they've linked, and then I hit FN F12. And nothing unfortunately happens. FN, F12. There we go. It did work. It just creates two. That's a little janky. I thought it would split actually within the same window. What an ass feature. I'm never using that. Zathra, you mean the PDF viewer? Okay, I get the feature. I get the feature. That was great. Okay, this is a much, much better PDF reader now. I can throw that bad boy next to... You gonna center? Center view. Oh, that's like screenshot worthy. That looks very nice. I guess I kind of want to helper window. Is it toggle helper window? Toggle helper window. What is it? Preview window? Oh, I'm searching the wrong thing. Oh, there's a toggle helper window configuration command. Window configuration. Toggle window configuration. Configuration. I want to see if there's a way to toggle window. Change the settings on that. Window settings. Choose launch new window. Should launch new window, render overview. Startup commands, main window size, main window, helper window size. Single main window is used when helper window is closed and other configs or both windows are open. Overview size, just the size of the overview window, but you can't make them into the same window, I guess. I don't see a setting to do that. Yeah, not a thing, unfortunately. But that looks amazing. That's everything I've ever wanted Zathra to be. That's beautiful. And what about opening up textbooks? Where's my number theory? Well, this is a good one to have open too. Chinese mathematical analysis, horribly photocopied and rendering very slowly. What else? Elementary number theory. I also have this Sipser textbook, which is interesting. Theory of computation. Let's see. Automata. Yeah, this is a good looking. Now you just have to change the font. You can change the font? Yeah. This is a classic textbook. Let's see. There's also a textbook. I bet this would look good. This is a classic. How would you guys feel about like a book reading stream, like a bedtime story stream? You know, I was thinking about reading some of the great books of the world, and like having kind of a book group that thinks about it on stream. Like be cool to read this book. I think this book is like pretty pretty eye-opening, pretty earth-shattering when you really come to grips with it. But also, like, I'd love to read like the Bible. I think that would unironically go pretty hard. I'm not Christian, but like I just want to know what's up with it, the secrets of it. Book reading streams, I think would be quite fun. Rich Dad, Poor Dad on stream to educate your viewers and give them the power of financial freedom. Book of Enoch. To let viewers recommend books. Yeah, and then we could maybe like vote on Zathra versus Soya, config tweaks, distros, wars, editor wars. I've walked through all those phases. It's fun. So are you an old grizzled veteran? Dear Rain. The problem with the Neovim manual is it's like not good reading material. Like, it seems like it would be, but it's like you need so much context. Like, it's hard to watch that. I mean, or hard to listen to it. But yeah, I might be down. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go for lunch and take my exam. I think I'm calling it a stream here. I'll probably be back to do my number theory homework this evening if people are still